Tonight on the Black Channel, Kyle Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny, and now this. Everyone, it seems, is trying to do their best imitation of George Zimmerman going forward. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, you know, there's a lot going on out there. There's a lot happening. My man Afro Elite had contacted me about Ozone. I want to see about getting them back on here again here in the very near future. So be looking for that as well. And the reason for that is because Florida is once again reminding you, you're talking about one of the fastest growing states, if not the fastest growing state by population. And they're letting you know who's down there already. They're letting you know what's going on down there already and who they are targeting. And in particular here, this is the one thing in particular here, this is a case that's going on down there, and I wanted to point this out to you because the NAACP down there in Florida was talking about, you know, putting black folk on a warning about what's happening down there in Florida. That the governor of Florida has made it very, very clear he's targeting black people. Too bad the NAACP hadn't been doing anything about it. But the governor of Florida has made it very, very clear who he's after and who they're targeting. And that at the end of the day, these are the undesirables. These are the folks that they're going at. These are the ones. I wanted to take this as a moment to review this with you. I wanted to take a moment to review this with you because just in case it wasn't, just in case you didn't get the full idea about it here, I wanted to get that to you, so that we understand that there are many of them out there, and what they're doing is they are all seeing if they can get together and try to perform one of these ambush killings. That's the whole thing about it. So first you had the white supremacist males who jumped out there. Now you have the white supremacist females. Look at old Gertrude up here. Old Gertrude here has decided that she would take one for the team on her way into retirement. And this is a fair warning and a cautionary tale to everyone out there to take this seriously. They never show up looking like that. Take it seriously. Take it seriously. What I want to do here is I want to show you from a CNN article they discussed on here. CNN was talking about this, and I want you to hear some of the stuff that they were saying here, because you don't get these kind of details on television. They always leave this kind of stuff out, because what we've been saying for years is that if these so-called multi-billion-dollar news outlets would ever investigate these people, the truth always comes out. The truth always comes out. From Jennifer Henderson and Jamil Lynch, Florida woman who fatally shot a black neighbor admitted hurling racial slurs at victims' children in the past, affidavit said. See, this is what it's like to be black in America in 2023. When we talk about white privilege, this is what we mean. They will sit up here and tell you that all this went away decades ago, and it didn't. They'll tell you that. Somebody in the chat room said hate crime. Someone in the chat room said hate crime. Here's the problem. If you remember, just last week, we did the story here about Dan Bartlett threatening black children, yelling racial slurs with a gun in his hand. And he's only going to get 20 years probation. And essentially, this crime will not be counted as a crime. So when we look at the national crime statistics, this guy committed a crime with a gun, and yet this will not be shown as a crime with a gun. So when the Jared Taylors and Richard Spencers talk about Dan Bartlett, when the Jared Taylors and the Richard Spencers talk about that, when your white supremacists online talk about these, black folk commit more crimes, they don't talk about the fact that this white man was on video shown threatening black children with a gun, yelling racial slurs, and they swept that on up under the rug. See, that won't make it into your crime statistics. That won't make it into your crime statistics. No, now that you've done that, this won't be a hate crime. So you see, you got white folk committing hate crimes everywhere, and by the time they get to court, and we ain't counting that. We're not counting that. That doesn't count as a hate crime. We're not doing that. In the article here, they say the Florida woman who fatally shot a black neighbor during a dispute over kids playing outside admitted hurling racial slurs at the children and told detectives the victim threatened to kill her, according to an arrest affidavit. Folks, this is just laughable at this point. It would be laughable if somebody wasn't dead. It would be laughable if somebody wasn't dead. These folks don't even know how to get their damn lies to be believable, but they don't have to be believable. They say, I'm white and I say so. Well, you see, I was scared for my life. She's trying the I was scared for my life. Folks somebody ran up to her door talking about, I'm going to kill you. Really? Did they bring a weapon? Oh, no. Who had a weapon? I did. So let me get this straight. The unarmed person ran up to your door threatening to kill the armed person. Yes. Makes perfect sense. Yes. Can't you tell? That's the way it always happens. Yes. Absolutely. Let me get this straight, Mr. Penny. So the victim, Jordan Neely, was threatening you. Yes. Did he have a weapon? No. Did he touch you? No. But you were afraid. Scared for my life. How did you take him down? I was able to sneak up behind him. So he was such a threat to you that you were able to sneak up behind him and strangle him to death for 15 minutes. Yes. These are things that they seriously say in America today. These are things they seriously say. The affidavit was released before bond for Susan Louise Lawrence was set for $154,000 on Friday. Yeah, because all she did was murder somebody. That's all she did. Lawrence, a 58-year-old white woman, CNN, do y'all notice something here? I just noticed something just now. For black, they put black with a capital B. For white, they put white with a capital W. Did you notice that? I just couldn't help but notice that. That was interesting going on over there at CNN. Looking at your little side eye here, Miss Henderson. Or was this an editorial decision that was beyond your control? Not really sure. Not really sure. But giving you all the 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive nowhere else. Lawrence, a 58-year-old capital white woman, was arrested on a charge of manslaughter Tuesday, 4 days after investigators say she fatally shot Ajaki A.J. Owens through the front door of Lawrence's home near Ocala, Florida, as Owens repeatedly knocked on her door, the Marion County Sheriff's Office said. The arrest affidavit released from the Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office said Lawrence became, quote, angry that neighborhood children, including the children of the victim, were playing near her home. The affidavit detailed interviews with witnesses whose names are redacted. 2 witnesses are believed to be some of the victim's children. One of Owen's sons told a deputy he'd been playing basketball in the street while his younger 10-year-old brother played in a nearby field, according to the affidavit. The children told the deputy his younger brother informed him that he had left an electronic tablet in the field and said Lawrence had picked it up. So the old white bigot was out here targeting children. I've been pointing this out to you all for weeks now. They're targeting children. White supremacists are not profiles in courage. They're all lecherous, evil, cowardly bastards. They target little kids. A white woman targeting little children. The way that Carolyn Bryant targeted Emmett Till. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't changed. This is where we are today. Targeting your children. Targeting your kids. With other folks out here pretending that that's not what it really is. And they're targeting your kids. Anywhere and everywhere they can, targeting them at random. That's why I'm telling folks out here, you have to have your eyes and your ears wide open, and you can't be sitting up here playing the game of, well, let's just move into some white folks' neighborhoods and everything else will be fine. You can't play that little game. It doesn't work that way. I would also like to point out that Ocala, Florida is only 70 miles from Sanford. It's only 70 miles from Sanford. Just to give you some perspective on it, Ocala, Florida is only 70 miles from Sanford, Florida, where George Zimmerman was gunning people down, by the way. The article goes on to say here that when the 10-year-old asked Lawrence to return the tablet, he told the deputy the woman threw it to the ground and yelled at him. The child claimed Lawrence threw roller skates at him, according to the affidavit. The affidavit says the older child said he told his younger sibling to tell their mother what was going on, and then he approached Lawrence's front door and yelled, "You want to throw something, throw it at me." Lawrence came out of her home and told him he was trespassing and swung an umbrella in his direction, the affidavit said. Shortly after, the victim approached Lawrence's front door and banged on the door, yelling for Lawrence to throw something at her if she wanted to throw something. Now, folks, here's where we have to have a moment of clarity. You got a single mom of 4. Living in a system of white supremacy, you are a single mom of 4 children. And you're not behaving like you're in a war zone. You're acting out emotionally. This is a teaching moment for everyone here. I want you to understand that you're a teaching moment. First of all, if you're a single mom out here today, you are a sitting duck. These white supremacists are not coming at you as individuals. They're coming at you as a group. You sitting up here telling yourself, well, let me go ahead and be a single mom. Every time we turn around, these single moms are getting to work. You're trying to run up to somebody's door like you got an army behind you, and you don't. It's just you. They know they got a system behind them. They know that they have a system and they have backup behind them. You don't. You don't. You marching up to folks' front doors as if your blackness has equal weight as their whiteness. You're running up to their front doors as if this is going to be a fair fight or an equal confrontation. White supremacy does not fight fair. White supremacy wrote the book on fighting dirty. If I'm telling the truth right now, give me the thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 2,600 people in here live in just the first 15 minutes. Hit the likes button for me. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like you all don't want to hear this. We'll just go ahead and wrap it up. That's cool too. But if you agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me the thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. In a system of white supremacy, you can't run up on folks as if you got some army behind you. You can't run up on them as if your blackness gives you equal weight to their whiteness. You can't do that. This woman is messing with your children. That's an act of war. That is an act of warfare. And the question I'm asking you is, if you're going to walk up to those folks' house, did you walk up to their house ready for war? I said it. Are you walking up to their house ready for war, or are you walking up to their house ready to run your mouth? See, there's the thing we got to understand is that folks out here today, you running up on people who want to kill somebody and you running up to them trying to be as loud as you can be. As if you being loud somehow is going to even that out. These folks are trying to murder someone and you trying to play the game of being loud. Well, I'm going to go up there screaming and yelling, and that's going to get them in their place. These folks came out here for war. They came out here for war. They didn't come out here to play. She came there to say she going to get her Zimmerman stripes today. That's why she been messing with the kids all this damn time. She been messing with the children all this time. Let me explain to y'all what's going on here. You see, if you got two parents out there, one of them would have been able to grab this racist old bastard's ass before she ever got to her house. If she's out there assaulting your children when you got two parents in the home, one of y'all is out there and would have snatched a knot in her decrepit old geriatric ass before she ever made it to her front door. You out here trying to do your best impersonation of being a sitting duck, and these folks are targeting your children. See, that's the way we did it in the old days, because we understood that that's what folks were doing. The parents kept an eye on their children just in case somebody tried something like that. Next thing you know, you getting your ass lit up. Grandma is getting the work and getting the business before she can get home. She ain't never gonna get far enough to get herself back inside the house. And you ain't gonna be sitting up here trading words with her back and forth either. Bronze Rage, you're doing your best coon impersonation right now. Don't worry. When I have the phone lines open up, we're gonna give you a chance to go ahead and buck dance. We'll give you a chance to buck dance. Don't worry, we'll give you a chance to get your coon boots shined up. But in this situation here, when you got somebody watching the children, that's when they stop that mess. You sitting up here having your children sit up here and play in the neighborhood, and they playing around with killers. They're playing around with white supremacists who are looking to kill somebody. And when you approach this as if you are going into war, then that's how you're going to see it. That they trying to kill someone. Now you're going to approach it properly, or at least you should, because let's be very clear. When you got a man in the house who recognizes the environment that he's in, he gonna deal with it differently. I've been to Florida many a moon. I bring my Kit Kat with me every trip. Ain't gonna catch me without a snack. And be careful, because my snacks eat you up. You don't eat my snacks eat you up. But every time I hit 10, heading in that direction, every time you see me coming down 75, every time you see me rolling down 95, just understand I got something sweet. I got my Kit Kat. Oh, trust me, I got something sweet for you. I got something sweet for you. Any female who has been with me understands, oh, trust me, he got something sweet and it ain't light. Got something sweet for you and it ain't light. I got a snack pack for you. King size. Believe me. Oh, trust me, it ain't gonna be just 1 or 2 pops, and it ain't gonna be that. It will not be that. I'm like McDonald's, millions, if it get popping, millions served. When you have a man in the home who recognizes what the hell going on, you got a man in the home who recognizes they're in a war zone. When somebody messes with the kids, that man in the home is going to do what needs to be done and deal with the sheriff later. That man in the home is going to do what the hell he got to do and deal with the sheriffs later. A man understands you don't walk up to nobody else's door in this day and time bumping your gums and running your mouth. You don't do that. Not in Florida. You don't do that in Florida. Hell, you don't do that anywhere, but especially in a sundown state like Florida. Florida is a sundown state. Florida is not a sundown town. Florida is a sundown state. A man who knows that environment is not going to walk up there any old kind of crazy ass way. He's not going to walk up to nobody's door jacking his jaws. He recognizes he's in a war zone. And he's going to treat it accordingly. This woman thought that she was going to sit there and trade words. This old white supremacist biddy was sitting up here looking to murder somebody, and she made that decision before you ever showed up. Now, this article goes on to say that the older child then heard a loud bang and witnessed his mother stumbling away from the door while telling him to call 911, according to information obtained by a deputy, which is laid out in the affidavit. In other words, he watched his mother die. That's what I'm telling you. In other words, he watched his mother die. The defendant painted a different picture of events in her interview with a sheriff's deputy, according to the affidavit. Oh, really? She has something different to say. Well, I'll be interested to hear what this is. I wonder if it sounds realistic or if it sounds like science fiction. Lawrence told the deputy she'd been having problems with the, quote, same juveniles for the past years, quote, due to their lack of respect for her peace and privacy, the affidavit stated. Lawrence also told the deputy that Owen's children had told her, quote, they would kill her in the past, according to the affidavit. No, y'all, that's literally, seriously what she said. That the children told her that they would kill her. That's why she's chasing them around, grabbing their tablet, throwing skates at them, and assaulting these children. Yeah. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I mean, that makes perfect sense to all of you, doesn't it? Absolutely. It sounds totally natural. They go on to say here that Lawrence denied picking up a tablet or throwing roller skates at anyone in her interview with the deputies, the affidavit states. But she acknowledged throwing roller skates in the yard and telling the children to, quote, go fetch them. Showing it to you from it there. She acknowledged throwing roller skates in the yard and telling the children to go fetch them. Quote, she also admitted that it was possible she had swung an umbrella near one of the children, but wouldn't have hit them, according to the court document. No, it doesn't sound like a killer to me at all. Totally innocent. I didn't throw the skates at them. I kind of just threw it at the yard when you think about it. And I told them to go fetch them. What in the hell are you doing talking to kids like that? Oh, well, I might have swung an umbrella near one of them, but I wasn't actually swinging to hit them. Y'all got to understand, these are old heifers. When you go into these public schools, when you got these white supremacist teachers in these public schools, y'all want to know why so many of your kids end up in special ed if you allow it? End up on Ritalin if you allow it? You sitting up here trying to be the biggest damn hoe at the club on Friday nights, and meanwhile they're hooking your kids up to drugs. These are the individuals who do that. These are them. They don't have a soul. They don't have decency. Humanity is beyond them. And they are specifically targeting your kids, not the parents. They don't go after something their own size. They're targeting your children. It says here that on the night of the shooting, Lawrence told the deputy that after she told all the children to leave, Owen suddenly appeared at her door and started banging on it while yelling, I'm going to effing kill you. No, I'm serious. This is what she said. I'm serious. Seriously. This is what she told him. That the children were saying that they're going to kill her, and that the mother ran over there and told them that she's going to kill her too. So in other words, she's saying that the whole family said they were going to murder her. The whole family told her, the little kids, the little babies, everybody, they all said they were going to kill me. So I'm glad she got that out there. I was afraid for my life, including from the little kids. Of course, the little kids said they were going to kill me too. They go on to say here that Owens was banging on her door with so much force, Lawrence told the deputy, that she panicked. Now, did y'all hear that? Let me go ahead and show this again. Let me go ahead and show this with you. She said that she was banging on her door with so much force that she panicked. Now, you were waiting to hear she was banging on the door with so much force that it knocked the hinges off. She was banging on the door with so much force that it knocked plates and silverware off the shelves. No, she said she was banging on the door with so much force that I panicked. So she was banging on the door with so much force that you heard her knocking on the door. And you panicked because you heard her knocking on the door. Didn't do any damage to the property. So much force that you heard her. She was banging on the door with so much force, I heard her at the front door and panicked. By the way, you see what she did next, because this is what the Karens do here. She panicked, stating, "Oh my God, she's really going to kill me this time. She's really going to kill me this time." Did she ever try to kill you before? She's really going to kill me this time. This time as opposed to when? To what? She's going to kill me this time. But nothing happened to you previously either. Well, I'm white and I say so. All right. Then Lawrence said she retrieved her handgun and fired a single shot through the door, telling the deputy she was afraid for her life, the affidavit said. So yeah, she gets it. I was afraid for my life. From whom? From everybody. I was afraid from everyone. The kids, the children, the stop sign, the mother, the dog, the armadillo, the ants. Worried, scared to death. The defendant also told the deputy, quote, she never intended to hit the victim when she fired the gun and thought she hit really high when she shot. Neighbors interviewed by sheriff's deputies revealed a history of negative interactions between Lawrence and the children in the neighborhood, with one saying the white woman was, quote, always yelling at the children who play in the area and calls in false reports on them, according to the affidavit. The court document quotes Owen's younger child as saying Lawrence had called him and other children, quote, bastards and jackasses, and at one time stated, "This isn't the Underground Railroad, slave." This is an old white woman attacking black children. This is clearly a hate crime. Without question, without doubt. And she should be prosecuted by the feds, not by the state. This is clearly a hate crime and clearly a violation of civil rights. She should be prosecuted by the feds and looking at life in prison like the McMichaels for killing Ahmaud Arbery. This is a hate crime. This is clearly a hate crime. A neighbor told deputies, let me go ahead and show that to you again. A neighbor had told deputies that the night of the shooting, Lawrence came out of her home and gave the children playing in the field the middle finger and yelled, quote, "Get away from my house, you black slave," the affidavit said. This is Governor Ron DeSantis' type of citizen. These are the folks that he wants in Florida. These are the folks that he wants all across America. These are them. These are them. Giving the middle finger to children who, they're not in your yard, they're not on your property. In a second interview with law enforcement, the affidavit said the defendant acknowledged using racial slurs toward the children in the past. This is how bold they getting with it. When she talked to detectives, she didn't even deny it. She is saying, yeah, I've used racial slurs in the past. She's admitting that this is a hate crime. Admitting it. Quote, Lawrence admitted to having used the N-word toward children out of anger in the past and also calling children other derogatory names, the detective noted in the affidavit. So glad that he put the word children in there, because we all know what happens when you're talking to black kids. Everybody wants to sit up here and age them up and claim that you are in fact talking to adults, even at the age of 6. You can be a 6-year-old adult when you're black. So very glad that he at least took the time to document this as children, that she was attacking children, that she has been throwing slurs at children, through the N-word toward children. When reached by CNN, Lorentz's attorney, Amanda Sizemore, said she has no comment on the case at this time. Yeah, nothing says guilt like my attorney don't want to speak to you. Nothing says guilty like that. The state had requested a higher bond. Welcome to white supremacy in action. A judge set bond for $150,000 for the felony charge and another $4,000 for 4 misdemeanor counts for Susan Louise Lorentz, who earlier told the court she could only afford a bond of $1,700. She also said she is unemployed and owns about $3,000 worth of furniture. This is pathetic. This is pathetic. She's too low income and low value to be living in the state of Florida, and yet she's out there killing folk. This is pathetic. Take her ass down to Goodwill or Big Lots. It says that the state requested a $200,000 bond. The owner of the apartment where Lorentz lives told detectives she was being evicted, according to a prosecutor, and the judge recommended Lorentz not return there. So yeah, don't worry about the furniture. That's all on its way out, so don't worry about the furniture. We got that covered. We got it on good authority. Don't worry, the furniture's being moved as we speak. They go on to say here, in addition to manslaughter with a firearm, Lorentz is facing charges of culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault, the sheriff's office said early Wednesday. If Lorentz posts bond, she will not be allowed to possess a firearm or any other weapon, nor is she allowed to have any contact with the victim's family. If she returns to her apartment to gather belongings, she will have to have someone accompany her. She is allowed to live in her apartment as long as she isn't evicted. Lorentz will also have to wear an ankle monitor. Here's the problem, folks. She shouldn't be given a bond at all. The prosecution had requested a $200,000 bond. The judge said, nah, give white supremacy a chance. Give white supremacy a chance. 200 is too much. Let's knock that down to 150. Which, as you all know, when you get a bond, basically you only got to come up with 10% of that. So the judge must have felt 20,000 was too much. Maybe she can swing the 15. But if we've noticed anything in the past, that might not be so hard to do, will it? 720 degrees of analysis here, folks. By the way, if the recent past is anything to judge by, setting any bond for these white supremacists or suspected white supremacist killers is basically handing out a blank check. In the recent past, we have seen what they're doing. We've seen what they're going for. And they are here for the purposes of murder. And there are plenty of white supremacists around the country who will gladly make sure that they go unpunished. We've seen that in the recent past, which is why she was so emboldened to do what she did. She watched Daniel Penny. She watched George Zimmerman. They've seen how white folk have gotten rich off of murdering black people and have the entire society behind them. She should not have gotten a bond at all. She should have been held without bond. She should have been held without bond. She has a history of attacking people. She has a history of threatening people. She is clearly a continuing threat. She should never have received a bond. If it was a black person who had been repeatedly harassing and attacking white children, they would have set no bond. But understand, you are in a race war. You're in a race war. That's all there is to it. You're in a race war. Smack dab in the middle of it. And they are executing the race war from the bench. They're executing the race war from the bench. The article goes on to say here that Lawrence made an initial court appearance via video call on Thursday. She told the court she has no savings, is making payments on a car, and had filed for disability after working at United Healthcare. She said she last worked 2 weeks ago and that she supports her 55-year-old sister. She filed for disability, and yet she is spry enough to be attacking little kids. She is spry enough and healthy enough to attack little children. She's spry enough and healthy enough to gun down their mom. Premeditated. She's spry enough to do that. She's healthy enough to do that. She's able-bodied enough to do that. That's not an issue. That wasn't a problem for her. She was able-bodied and healthy enough to do that. That wasn't a problem. Think about that for a few moments here, especially if you got insurance with United Health Care or something like that. Especially if you got anything with them. Yeah, that'll do it. No, this isn't a race war. No, nothing like that at all. This is not a race war at all. Not at all. The article goes on to say here that in the days since the killing, Owen's family has repeatedly called for the arrest and charging of the shooter, insisting the incident was unprovoked and unjustified. Though the arrest has brought Owen's family some relief, one of her sons is grappling with remorse because he was the one who told his mother about Lawrence's confrontation with the children, the family said. Quote, he witnessed his mother shot and killed. In his soul and his heart, it's his fault that his older brother, his baby sister, and his baby brother, as well as himself, will never see their mother again. Pamela Diaz, Owen's mother, said of the young boy. Another child also blamed himself because he was unable to perform CPR on his mother, Diaz said. Grandma, I couldn't save her, Diaz recalled the 12-year-old boy telling her. A funeral service will be held for Owens on Monday, Crump said. I didn't see them mention Benjamin Crump in here earlier, so maybe they copied and pasted this from another article or assumed that everybody just knows who Benjamin Crump is at this point, but as far as I'm concerned, no penalty could possibly be too severe. For the targeting of children, she targeted little children in a shameless, gutless, subhuman act. This is not humanity. This is being subhuman. This is a subhuman act. This is animalistic. And I want everyone to recognize what you're seeing here. That they're targeting your kids because they watched George Zimmerman get away with it, because they watched him get away with it. This has emboldened the others, as I always said that it would. I always said that it would embolden them, and sure enough, here we are. That's why you've seen the Kyle Rittenhouses. That's why you've seen the Daniel Pennies. That's why you've seen them out there, because they've been emboldened now. They've been emboldened to be able to do this. Everywhere you go, they're testing the waters. They're going to keep trying these kinds of things. They're going to keep trying these kind of things as long as they possibly can, because they are in a race war. Do you notice who you don't hear these things about? You notice who you don't hear these things about? You notice you don't hear these things about the illegals. They're not out there gunning down the illegals. They're not out there chasing down the illegals. They're not out there doing that to them. The illegals are all over the state of Florida. They're drunk driving. They're doing everything, but they're not targeting them. Did you notice that? They're not targeting them. They're not targeting them. Did you get that? They're not targeting their children. They're targeting ours. They're targeting ours. But I want to put it in its proper context. I want to put it in its proper context here because there are levels to this. First and foremost, I want to return this back to where it is. You are in a war zone, and I don't know if this woman here is of an immigrant background. From what we're seeing here, though, it certainly seems like they may be coming from an immigrant background. It certainly seems like they may be coming from that. And when it's time to confront white supremacy, they don't really know what to do. White supremacy runs up on them and they don't really know what to do. On the one side of it, they want to treat them like white mommy and white daddy. And on the other side, you're being targeted. So they don't really know what to do. See, we are old hands at this. We're old hands at this. I'm not 100% certain about her background, but I am 100% certain that we're old hands at this. We know full well how treacherous these individuals are. You see, when you run up to the door of the beast and you telling yourself, well, she's a little old lady, how harmful could she be? Those of us who come from the soil, we've been rolling over them now for over a century. We know how dangerous they are. We know that they are equally dangerous. We don't sit up here and tell ourselves, well, you know what? They better than the Akatas. Oh, you ain't got to worry about it. We don't sit up here and say that. We don't play that game. We recognize that all of them are equally dangerous. All of them are equally bloodthirsty. All suspected white supremacists are equally dangerous. This old bastard is out here yelling at your children, throwing things at your children, sitting up here throwing racial slurs. You're supposed to recognize she's at war with you and your children. You're supposed to approach this situation the same damn way. I don't give a damn what they've been playing for you on Telemundo or Univision. I don't give a damn what they said or what they've been playing. This is the real world. And you running up to them, if you running up to them with a white mommy complex, they showing you real damn quick it's not the white mommy, it's the white devil. And that they are here to murder someone. Now, when you have a man in the home, when you have a competent, not even really a man in the home, when you have a competent man in the vicinity, these things are far less likely to happen. See, white supremacists are only going to strike if they feel like there's not going to be a man around. You see that everywhere you go. White supremacists are cowards. They look for soft targets. They're only going to strike if they think they don't see a man around. These racist Asian hair store owners, they only strike when they think there's not a man around. At these restaurants, they only mess with you if they think there's not a man around. In your neighborhood, if they see a bunch of single moms sitting there, you easy pickings, you easy meat. There's no man around. Because they know that men are going to think strategically. Men are going to act strategically. See, that's the problem with that, is a man is going to act strategically and think strategically. It's not going to be a bunch of yelling and screaming and sitting up here doing all this like, oh, no. See, you done mess with my kids. You done mess with my kids now. Now I got to deal with this different. I think my man Black Voltron is in the chat room. He'll tell you, look here, you done crossed the line now. It's like, you done mess with the kids now. I got to deal with you different. No, don't come over here splaining, and don't try to come over here splaining and any of that right there. Ain't gonna have it. Ain't gonna have it. You done mess with my kids. You done mess with my kids, and now, you got to get dealt with. You got to get dealt with. That's just it. And understand how we as men think. It's like, I ain't going to say nothing to you tonight. I got nothing to say to you tonight. What we got to talk about? I don't have anything to say to you tonight. And you ain't got nothing to say to me. I suggest you don't come to my doorstep, or else, no. You done mess with my kids now. We're gonna deal with this. We have alternative means of dealing with that. We got alternative means. Trust me, your so-called disability is the least of your concerns. Your so-called disability is the least of your concerns. See, as black folk, that's what we need to make sure of here. The problem with the single mother epidemic, I got to call it like it is. Y'all sitting up here leaving yourselves defenseless. You and the children are defenseless. When it's time to go to war, y'all sit up here and do a whole bunch of jaw-jacking and yelling. You running up to a white supremacist door yelling. Meanwhile, she got the damn gat sitting behind the damn door. While you running over there talking about talking. Men ain't gonna do that. As men, we know, I don't really want to talk to you. Everything I gotta do doesn't involve talking. I'm not here to speak at you. I'm not here to talk about you. I'm not here to trade words. You thinking you gonna sit up here and be mom and dad. No, you ain't. Ladies, let me tell you for the umpteenth time. You might have this little old Harriet Tubman set it off fantasy in your head. It ain't gonna work. This is the real damn world. This is not a Hollywood script. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to sit up here and tell yourself that you're gonna have some Bruce Willis fantasy. That's not gonna go down. These are lies you tell yourself. You need to have some men, some competent men around. Let me go ahead and explain to you the facts of life right now. And this is Jason Black 2023 breaking it down to you. I keep bail money on me. Understand something? I ain't worried about them laws like that. If I got to put in work, damn it, in Louisiana, we got a saying. That's problem number 2. Dealing with your ass is problem number 1. Dealing with the police is problem number 2. And if I got to put in work, I keep bail money, damn it. I keep bail money. Let me tell y'all right now, grandma get the business. And don't think I'm scared of no damn judge neither. Behind the kids, I got nieces and nephews. Don't you know you can die right here? Oh, no, not down the road. You can die right here, right where you sitting. You can die right here. The Black Channel will be suspended for 5 years. I gotta go do this 5-year bid. Assuming my lawyers can't get me off, and there's a pretty good chance they can. But on the off chance they can't, y'all, my next broadcast will be in 5 years. I will join y'all then. Professor Black Truth might be taking over in the meantime. I gotta do this 5-year stretch. Black first, and I'll see you on parole. But I'm dead ass serious. Understand something, I'm dead ass serious. I'm dead ass serious. You got folks out here doing time for getting into stupid ass fights over bum niggas you got pregnant by at a damn dance club. And ain't nobody willing to put in the right work on the white supremacists. I'll be damned. Look here, if it go down, trust me, your ass, don't you worry about no police. You need to worry about me right here. Your ass is bought and paid for. Your ass is bought and paid for. Right here. That's it. Grandma with a racist ass, she getting stomped out. Trust me, her fingers ain't gonna be able to pick up nothing look like a gun, much less an umbrella. You can just forget doing umbrella work altogether. That's out the question. That's out the question. That disability check about to be real good because you about to be permanently disabled. Y'all hear me? She about to be permanently disabled. You done mess with the kids? Oh, no. No, can't have it. Can't have it. See, ladies, this is what the hell y'all missing. Y'all sitting up here with this damn egotistical fantasy that you gonna sit up here and fly solo, and then when the heat come down, you gotta either start sitting up here kissing ass, or you gotta do something non-strategic and sitting up here jaw-jacking and yelling and screaming at other folk, and this ain't the time to be getting emotional. This is not the time to be getting emotional. This is the time to call in the warrior class. This isn't the time for you to be getting emotional. This is the time for you to call up the warrior class. Folks are declaring war on your children. Folks are attacking your children. Folks are going to war against you and your family. That's what you're supposed to have a man for. You're supposed to have a member of the warrior class on deck. He gonna kiss your kids on the head, send them to bed, and he gonna be peeking out the damn window like Malcolm. Let me make sure I got everything together, cause it's going down. It's going down. Yo, man, when's the last time y'all heard about a white woman yelling at the black kids and the man goes up to her front door yelling and screaming at her about, you come outside and throw something at me? When's the last time you all heard something like that go on? When's the last time you heard something like that happen? Some white supremacist females sitting up here messing with the children, and the man's going over there yelling at him like he's on Jerry Springer. The warrior class don't do that. The warrior class doesn't do that. And let me tell you something else right now. Me Too ain't gonna save you. Me Too ain't gonna save you. These men gonna do what they got to do. Ain't no chivalry over here. You mess with the kids, Me Too ain't gonna save you. But just understand, you cannot keep walking out here in a world that's trying to replicate George Zimmerman. You can't sit up here and play no games with them. This is life and death. You got to have a member of the warrior class. A single mom is a sitting duck. You and your children need to have a member of the warrior class, and you are not a member of the warrior class. You are not. Because here's the other issue. Folks, the 10 tons, 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive nowhere else. Here's the issue. Let's just say you do go diddy bopping your happy ass over there at that woman's house. You are assuming that she's by herself. Do you understand that? Ladies, this is why y'all's mess don't work. As men, we think strategically. We want to do reconnaissance. We want to find out, get intel. We want to know exactly what the hell going on there. You're assuming she's by herself. What if she had opened up that damn door and a white supremacist male had stepped out? Now what? What if that old white supremacist female had opened up the door and a white supremacist male had stepped out? Now what? Exactly. As men, we be telling ourselves she's talking real bold and acting real bold. She's not going to do that unless she thinks she's got the upper hand. Our job as men is to step back, analyze the situation, and make sure that we have disabled any attempt to have the upper hand. We going to make sure we got it. And you ain't going to have it by walking up to nobody's door, sitting up here running your mouth. As the men, we're not going to do that. The warrior class doesn't operate that way. We're going to be assuming that she's not by herself. We're going to be assuming that she's not alone. We're going to be assuming that she's not on her own. And we're going to behave accordingly. See, when we make a move, it's going to be the right move. If it's in defense of us and our children, when we make the move, it's going to be the right move. We've taken all those variables into account. These are not two females having a dispute. This is a white supremacist looking for a victim to ambush. That means either you or your children. This is not two women having a dispute. This is one woman and one white supremacist. And they are always at war. Are you approaching the situation the same way? Are you approaching the situation from the same standpoint? Are you treating the situation as this is warfare and that your children have to be protected? You see, when you have a member of the warrior class, all the answers get put in place. When you don't, you sit up here running up to somebody's front door trying to wing it. Ladies, the biggest act of betrayal against black society and other black folk is to sit up here and act like you gonna raise a single mother kingdom. You got you and the children out here. 80% of the kids are sitting ducks. 80% of the kids are defenseless. All of the children, all the women are defenseless. Because they're trying to act like they're going to run it by themselves. You're at war. You're at war. These folks are at war with you. You pretending you're going on some feminist fantasy, and the folk you fantasizing about, they're at war with you. They're at war with you. Let me explain something to y'all. First of all, you wouldn't be standing directly in front of the front door. No way. That's the first problem. You standing in front of the front door trying to look through the damn peephole. A man understands you don't do that. Hell, the police don't do that. When police go to folks' houses, y'all see what they do? They don't knock on the front door and stand in front of the damn door. Not unless they're serving a summons. They don't knock on the front door and stand in front of the door. You stand to the side of the door. You stand where the bricks are. Understand, this is basic reflexive thinking for a male, because we understand that people consider us more of a threat, so we are expecting that the things can go to an extreme level quickly. We're expecting it without anybody announcing it. We're expecting it. See, that's the benefit that you get at a basic level from a member of the warrior class. Simple mistakes that you would make as a woman, very simple mistakes you would make, we've already avoided it. See, that's the benefit of having a member of the warrior class. See, when you got black men who are 40, 50 years old, we've been out here in the trenches. We done had folk jump out their cars. We done had people run up on the bus at us. We done had folk try to step to us at the job. We done had people try to step to us at convenience stores. You see, we had in traffic, road rage. We done have all kinds of things going on. As men, we've had to deal with situations you don't. As women, you've had the luxury of saying, well, if you're in a tough social situation, you can show a little thigh or show a little cleavage and get some deference. As men, we've never expected that. We know that whatever happens, we got to work our way out of it. So we always got to stay ready. Ain't no showing a little thigh, no cleavage gonna help us. We always got to stay ready. Always. As men, we understand this intrinsically. This is no time for on-the-job training. You sitting here acting like this is something you can learn day by day. No, you can't. That old white biddy was ready. She was ready to kill somebody. As men, we assume that things could go there. See, that's the reason why as men, ladies, I want to explain something to you tonight. That's the reason why as men don't like getting into situations where somebody can end up fighting. Because as men, we always assume that number one, any confrontation could escalate to physical violence, and any confrontation that can escalate to physical violence, that's all of them, could also end in somebody dying. That is something that every man assumes. That we don't want to sit up here and talk to nobody, and we really don't want to get into it with nobody. That's why you got to have a female that if your female got a tendency of being slick at the mouth at people and creating situations, that broad got to go. She got to go, because she'll get you into a situation where you got to kill somebody, or somebody got to feel like they got to kill you, and it could have been avoided. And I'm not saying that you'll never find yourself in that situation, but that should be the last resort. You don't need nobody bringing trouble to you. As a man, we recognize that. As a man, we recognize that any situation, any confrontation, any dispute could possibly end in death. So we take that into account every single time for every single thing. When you get behind the wheel of your car, when you get at the checkout at Walmart, when you go to the gas station, when you go to your kid's school, you accept and you assume this could go to an extreme level. Somebody could end up dead. We take that into account every time. We don't look at anybody as safe. As men, we understand we don't look at anyone as harmless. Smith & Wesson made sure that would never be again. We don't look at anyone as harmless. So if a man had felt like he needed to go to her door, if it had come to that, which it most likely wouldn't, but if it did, we are not going to assume that she's harmless. She's been out here attacking children. Why do you think she was threatening children? Do you think she was threatening children because she didn't know that there was a woman at that house? She threatened those children because she knew there was a woman at the house and she wanted to lure that person out. She knew there was a woman at that house. She knew there was a woman and no one else. She knew that there was a woman at that house and nobody else. So she was like, I'm going to keep messing with the kids until I lure her out. She's going to be emotional. She's going to be real emotional and real loud, and I'm going to tell folk that she was real threatening, and that will give me the excuse that I need. I'm going to play her emotions against her. That'll give me the excuse that I need. To which you can say, well, Jason, it looked like things went bad. Yeah, things went real bad. The kids don't have a mom anymore. Things went real bad. It went real bad. When it gets to this extent, it's gone real damn bad. Yeah, the kids don't have a mom anymore. They've been targeting the children for a reason. They're targeting them for a purpose and for a reason. And as the adults, we got to start saying that it's you and me and us and we, not a single mom and a bunch of kids. We are at war. George Zimmerman gave them the blueprint that they've been trying to, Michael Duggan, and the rest of them been trying to get together ever since. They've been trying to ambush and kill some more black children ever since. George Zimmerman, Timothy Loman killing Tamir Rice. They've been trying to get a way to go ahead and start murdering black children ever since. Y'all, every time you look up, you're hearing about another black child being shot and killed by a white supremacist. That's the game they're playing. That's the game they're playing, and they're trying to work the formula to figure out how do you do it in such a way that it doesn't result in charges. Or if it does result in charges, see if there are charges that you can walk on. That's the problem. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. As always, you are welcome to join us. I want to thank everyone, though, who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. To Nancy King, thank you very much. Nancy King, N.J. Williams, and Chris King there in the Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support, as well as B1 Media is a lifesaver, always on deck. Mr. Cocaine, Mr. Richburg, Mr. Brown, and Chadwick, thank you very much for your support. And a special shout out here to our girl Gladys. Gladys has been definitely holding it down for us and giving her support for a while. So I want to send a special shout out to you, Gladys. I hadn't been able to tell you thank you in a minute, but thank you very much for your support, sister. We appreciate that, as we appreciate all of you. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, your phone calls and more. This is The Black Channel.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career or business? With Higher Life Recruiting and Consulting, you can get the help you need to reach your goals. Our experiences span multiple industries, giving us the ability to source top talent across various fields. We specialize in STEM and high-tech industries, but we are equally adept at recruiting and professional services. Our services include career consulting, resume writing, LinkedIn consulting, interviewing, lead generation, sourcing, and talent mapping. Follow us on Instagram at Get Higher With Us.
A white supremacist assassin seeks revenge. Corrupt FBI agents with evil intentions. Dangerous black collaborators dedicated to treason. Occam Jeffers must defeat them all and somehow survive. One misstep and he's a dead man. Join Occam Jeffers as he looks the devil in his blue eyes and tells him, Black First. A sequel to the underground hit War of the Heart, Spirit of 1811 Publishing presents God Love Us, on sale at Amazon. Pre-order and save today. Visit spirit of1811publishing.com and show your love.
Having computer problems? Is your PC or Mac running slow? Need help building a gaming PC? Having problems with your Apple or Android device? Call or text Fix Too Fast. We can fix common and uncommon computer software issues remotely, anywhere, nationwide, from the comfort of your home or business. Are you having hardware issues with your PC or Mac? Ship it to us and we will ship it back fixed. Call 1-877-412-9890 or text 513-440-1646 to speak to a technician. Please visit our website at www.fixtoofast.net.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' natural body butter with skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Joe Jackson. I'm a foundational Black American, and I entered the field of IT with the goal of helping the family globally. The industry's been changing, and I've learned a lot. But how did we get here? How do we navigate issues we face in the workplace? How can we get our house in order? Read The Concept and Intricacies of Being Black in IT, now on Amazon, as well as the best-selling Guide to Being Black in IT. Go to beingblackинit.com.
More Threads, a brand owned by a descendant of Black American freedmen, was created to uniquely address Black American history and contributions that have been intentionally hidden and suppressed. Use their apparel and more to learn and share the Black American history of Black inventions, heroes, towns, Black business districts, and more. Sign up and support not only a Black-owned business, but a movement at www.morethread.co.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority, and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. You are welcome to join us. We're talking about the Zimmerman Effect 2023, and we're discussing the fact that they are targeting the children shamelessly and what we need to do about that. Let me go ahead and get caller from area code 202. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, Big Brother Jason. This is Brother Elijah calling out of Istanbul, Turkey.
Okay, Brother Elijah's getting around. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Big Brother, after listening to tonight's broadcast, this was a very powerful broadcast as usual. You dissected everything. My question to you is this. Now when these white supremacists see that they see easy targets more and more, these single baby mothers, as you would call them, unmarried women, okay, do you think this is going to spill over more and more? That's my question, Big Brother.
Well, certainly, like I say, every time something like that happens, they're getting more emboldened. You see, what used to happen here is that black folk used to have this assumption. Can we just go ahead and level with y'all? Black folk have this assumption,
yes, sir,
that the white kids are afraid of you. Black folk are growing up in public schools and whatnot,
yes,
and everybody's had the assumption that they've always had the advantage, that they were always willing to get more physical if somebody messed with them. So they've always made the assumption that the white kids are afraid of them. The white kids are afraid of you. The white kids are scared of you. And that's just not true. That's not true. There might have been a time that it was,
yes,
but
sir,
what I'm saying is that as time has gone on, they've gotten more emboldened. So they're not afraid of you the way you think they are. They are not afraid of you the way you
yes,
tell
sir,
yourself. Whatever it was we were thinking back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that ain't where they are anymore. They have a disdain for you, but they're not, quote, afraid of you the way you tell yourself. So this idea that all you got to do is show up on their yard or show up on their front door barking, and they're going to sit up here and be running around the house scared to death, that's not what they're thinking. They're not afraid of you the way you tell yourself they are. And that's what they're showing now, is that they're getting more bold about asserting themselves and more bold in showing that they're willing to take the violence quotient to a whole new level. So black folk used to tell themselves, we ain't got to worry about them because them folks are afraid of us. Well, they might not want to get near the poverty or something if you're in an area like that, but they're not afraid of you, not the way you tell yourself. Let me give you all a basic example that I give y'all every year.
Yes, sir.
I give you all this example practically every damn year when we get to Christmas time. They keep telling you that as a black male, you're big and black and intimidating and black and intimidating, and oh, it's big and black, and that's a damn Karen move. Being big and black isn't a bad thing when they want to sleep with you, and being big and black is not a bad thing if you're working security for them or if you work for one of their sports teams. So being big and black is only a bad thing if they're white and they say so. Case in point, if you go shopping during holiday season and you're at one of those stores back before the economy was all screwed up, man, if they had Xboxes or PlayStations, you can't play the big black card. I don't give a damn how small she is, how frail she is, how old she is. I don't care if you're wearing 3 do-rags and sagging your pants down to your shoes. You can't get intimidated enough and thugged out enough to scare them. If she told her kids she was going to get them a PlayStation, she don't give a damn what you look like. She doesn't give a damn how many of you there are. She ain't afraid of y'all. And anybody who's tried that, you can't, usually if you invade their space, they back up, or at least that's what you tell yourself. Man, you can be all up on this chick like R. Kelly bump and grind. She ain't moving. She's not moving.
Yes, sir.
So much for you. That's what I told folks. I used to see that over a decade ago. I was like, by the way, ain't y'all supposed to be scared? No, they're not scared. They only say that when they want to try to flex their whiteness over you. They only say that when they want to leverage their whiteness against you. But if you talking about what really going on, she is not the least damn bit worried about that. If there's something she wants, your bigness, your blackness, your thugness, your darkness, your everything, that not a bit of that worries her. Not one bit. Hell,
yes, sir.
Those of you who, some of y'all raggedy folk, but I ain't gonna beat up on you too much. Some of y'all raggedy folk who have, flown Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines doesn't have assigned seats. Have you all tried to flex your big blackness at the airport when they tell the C passengers to load? I've only been on Southwest Airlines one time in my life, and I paid the most money to go get my seat. Have y'all tried that thugness with the C passengers? Hell no. That Karen is sitting there with her 3 damn kids in a stroller. She don't give a damn how big black Bushika you is. When they tell the C folk to go, ain't no thuggery and there is no black intimidation. They gonna show you real damn quick when it's time to get on the plane. Your blackness has no sway here. It's got no threat here. Don't matter if you're 4'3" or 7'2". It don't mean nothing. I'm talking about before you get on the plane, not after. I'm talking about when y'all trying to load. Because y'all Southwest people be trying to elbow each other because they don't have seats. They don't assign seats. So it's first come, first serve. 8 passengers pay for theirs. The one time I was on there, I'm with them. Let me in. I'm not fighting over this because I'm like, I see how this is going to end badly. The B people, and then when they get to the C people is anything goes. Them, I don't give a damn. Them white soccer moms, them white retirees. Please, where the hell is there afraid of the black folk then? Show me how scared they are of you then. Yes, and that's just Southwest. Any of y'all at the airport, when them white folk trying to get off the damn plane, you can't intimidate them with your big blackness. They all up on you, trying to take their damn carry-ons down and damn near hit you in the head with it. What happened to being scared of us? Y'all ain't paying attention. What happened to being afraid?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller area code 678. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is very calling from Atlanta. This off subject a little bit, but still on subject about basically history shows it was 16% when slavery was here, and then to date I think it's down to 12%, which is I feel like it's like a slow genocide. Also considering when they say black population, they're not talking FBA totally. It's also including other black cultures or whatnot, like Africa or the Caribbean. So do you think that can be a talking point to help move into reparations? Kind of leverage this reparations, like showing like we need actual census showing FBA compared to just blacks?
I mean, well, sure, certainly that would be a help if you could differentiate and distinguish. Thank you very much for giving us a call. You're off subject. Caller from area code 469. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Thomas calling from Dallas.
Thomas from Dallas. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, Jason. You're very correct when it comes to these Karens, man. They very dangerous, and we if you live in the South, these white women in the South ain't scared of nothing.
No, nigga, run your ass up in the Albertsons on a Sunday and see how big and black and intimidating you are then.
Correct. And do you know they tried to give this woman the Carolyn Bryant treatment? They didn't want to show her face, her name. Some about old white women they don't want to send to prison. No, we're not gonna fall for that crap anymore. We're gonna call you out. We're gonna find out who you are. We're gonna put you on blast. That woman, she baited that black girl in, and I kind of had a feeling, like you said, she might not be FBA, because we know. I mean, you don't go stand in front of somebody's door in the South, banging on somebody's door. You don't do that. That's off cold like a mug. We assume down here that everybody got a gun. Texas, Florida, Shreveport, Louisiana, period. And so we don't play them games with ourselves and trick ourselves to believe that everybody got a gun, and she needed them kids needed a father figure. We'd have handled that on first day that you mess with my kids. It ain't gonna be a second chance for you.
Yeah, because she basically had a campaign of harassing these children. She had a campaign of doing that. See, y'all aren't hearing from neighbors and stuff that the kids were terrorizing the neighborhood. She had a campaign of doing that with those children. This is a white supremacist with an unhealthy fixation against these black kids. And what I'm saying is that when you recognize that somebody's targeting your children, you're supposed to target them. And you don't target them by, well, don't worry, I'm going to go over there and run my mouth and yell, and we're going to intimidate them. And she found out the hard way. It doesn't work like that. That's not where we at. That's a game that they've been playing. Now they're like, they do it to playing the game. Like I told y'all a decade ago, I told y'all these white supremacists going into the 21st century, I told y'all they're going to start coming with their hands out. They used to have their hands tucked in their pockets when they walked up on you. Now they're walking up on you with their hands out. They're getting their hands up and they trying to put in some work. So I'm telling folks, you got to start treating every situation like that. You can't sit up here with this idea that you're going to sit up here and scream on folks and be intimidating. You're not intimidating anybody. It ain't working. And now it didn't work with disastrous results. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, Jason, I just want to let the men know, if y'all got any small children out here, man, check up on them. Check up on them daily, because like you said, we're at war, man. I talk to my kids on a daily basis. I mean, I got grown kids. I got grandbabies. I talk to them on a daily basis to see what's going on. Check on your kids, y'all. Don't let them be out in these streets by themselves. Be one.
Be one, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 813. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Kenny, and I'm calling from Tampa, Florida.
All right, Kenny from Tampa.
Family.
What's on your mind?
Just one thing. I'm sorry?
What's on your mind, Kenny?
One thing that I wanted to just acknowledge really quickly is that, yes, it's definitely terrible what happened to the mother, to the children. However, when she recognized those children were being targeted that way, it seems like it happened several times. it's no reason that they should have been out there unsupervised. In a perfect world, children should be able to play outside. But like you said, we are at war. All children should be supervised, especially when you have a demonic white supremacist targeting your children. And that's all I wanted to say about it.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And of course, that's the point I'm making. White supremacists, she didn't run up in that woman's yard. She didn't run up in that woman's yard on her kids. They wait until your kids are out there by themselves somewhere. They wait till your kids are on their own. They wait till your kids are off by themselves on their own and are defenseless. That's what they do. And you got to start treating it as they're waiting to see if they can catch your kids defenseless. Call from area code 213. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? And you got to start treating this. Okay, caller from area code 213 is in the middle of a drug deal. Caller from area code 562. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Henry, Norwalk, California.
All right, Henry in Norwalk, what's on your mind?
Jason, I just have, you know what? You gave us the bulletin points on this whole situation. That lady was facing eviction, and she knew that this was her last attempt, possibly her last attempt to kill this woman, and she took advantage of it. And I'm just upset. You know, we need to do better as a people. We just need to do better, and I'm really upset. I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 914. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Michael. I'm calling from. I'm a truck driver. I'm in Utah at the moment. And I was listening to the way the way you explain everything, and man, you're so right, because I've been listening to you and Professor Black Truth, and you're basically, I've learned a lot and how to be out here on the road, because there's a lot of racist white people out here, and you have helped me to deal with a lot of stuff out here, and how to not to overreact to stuff, because a lot of time they try to get a reaction out of you, and then when you overreact, they could kill you and say, "Oh, I felt threatened for my life." So listening to you have taught me a lot, and everything you said about what happened to that young, you're so right. You are so right. And a lot of people need to listen to you, because a lot of stuff you talk about is the truth, but it's going to happen again, because people get very emotional and they don't know how to calm down and you assess the situation. And sometimes you might have to walk away. I have to do that in Tennessee. I was fueling up the truck at nighttime, and the guy just jumped out of nowhere, and I got scared, and I saw him holding his thing. I thought, he was a white guy. I don't know if he had a gun or something. I just left the thing and went inside the truck stop. This was when Trump was in office. But I learned a lot from that. They're just looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, black folk have to remain vigilant. These folks are going to try to catch you slipping. They're not going to try to catch you in a strong place. This is why when we get together in large numbers, ain't nothing happening. Hell, when we get together in small numbers, nothing happens. When you're by yourself, that's when you're most vulnerable. And that's when they're like, okay, yep, we got the best advantage. So they're looking for us to be on our own. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. In the chat room, Lillian Madison said, "Dang, you got to take a gun to your neighbor's house." Let me explain something to you here, Lillian. White supremacists are not your neighbors. The white supremacist is not your neighbor. They are the terrorist next door. They're the terrorist down the street. White supremacists are not your neighbors. They are terrorists masquerading as neighbors. They are killers and criminals masquerading as neighbors. But this is not your neighbor any more than Jeffrey Dahmer was your neighbor. White supremacists are not the neighbor. They're not some friendly folk that we can reason with. They are completely devoid of civility and humanity. You're talking civilized behavior to the uncivilized beast. That's the difference. Big shout out here to my man V Vinny on Cash App. Big shout out to my man V Vinny, always checking in. Thank you very much for your support there. We appreciate that. And to everyone else here, thank you very much for your support as well. Emmanuel and everyone else on Cash App, I see you over there. Thank you very much for your support tonight. Let me get caller from area code 425. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening. This is Agnes calling from Seattle, Washington. I want to thank you for putting us women in check about why it's important to have a male close by and who thinks strategically, because a lot of times we women get to bumping our gums and have constipation of the brain. Like you said, you do not walk up to anybody's house by yourself thinking as a woman you can settle a situation. That's what the men are there for. The men are the natural protectors of women. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. As I said, it's not. That's why I said these are not two women having a conversation. This is not two women having a dispute. This is one woman and one white supremacist. That's why I said that before. You can't make some equivalence between the two. These are not two women. This is one woman and one white supremacist. That's what you're dealing with. Caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Bobby calling from Chicago.
Barbie from Chicago.
And you're right, Jason. It does. We do need men to protect us, because I remember as growing up, my father was the protector. I felt so protected once my father came home from work. I felt so protected. Once he go to work, I felt like I was vulnerable. I was scared. But once Daddy come home from work, I was like, yeah, Daddy's home. He's protecting us. So you're right. We need men back in the community. And women need to quit bumping their guns, talk about we don't need no man. Yes, we do.
This old white supremacist heifer, what this tells you, this is a neighborhood. The whole neighborhood obviously doesn't have a black male presence. You got a bunch of women and a bunch of kids, and you got a white woman basically militaristically trying to gentrify the neighborhood. But clearly there is no significant black male presence, because if there were, if you had significant black males, even not related to this woman here, she never would have tried that. Even if you just had the presence of the neighborhood, she never would have tried this. What this tells me is this neighborhood was devoid of a prominent black male presence of any kind. It's just a bunch of women, basically, and this white woman here is sitting up here saying, well, my gun makes me the alpha.
Yeah, her gun was her protector, that white woman. The black woman didn't have no chance.
You can't just run up to these folks. You got to recognize you're at war and have a plan.
We do need men.
I agree. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. You up against folks who are at war. You can't play about it. Caller from area code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Jason? John J. from Alpharetta, Georgia.
All right, John J. from Alpharetta. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to just ask a couple of questions. Has Kamala Harris spoke out about this or anything, Ms. Skiwee? I mean, because black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, but the Asian woman is the one that got to protect the protection policy from the Democrats. So this time next year, she'll be all Skiwee and sister girl, but has she spoke out about this?
Well, here's the real thing. I'm less concerned about them speaking out, more concerned about them doing something, because for Asians, they didn't have to speak out. They spoke out for the Asian community as a whole once and then got to work protecting them. Black folk are out here being murdered and shot down and everything else, and the federal government ain't saying anything on our behalf. So I'm more concerned about what they're doing as opposed to what they're saying. Even if she does say anything, I'm like, okay, what you gonna do? Carolyn Bryant showed us what they're gonna do. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller Miracle 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Jason Black. This is Black Voltron calling out of Deep East Oakland, California.
All right, my man, Black Voltron. Well, brother, like I say, definitely here. I made it a good point. You were the first person who came to my mind in this regard. I'm just thinking to myself, this old heifer is out here targeting children. And in your opinion, how would things go down if there was an actual competent black male presence under these circumstances of his children being threatened by an obvious white supremacist who's out there calling your kids nigger and slave and little black bastards? What is your position on how that's handled?
Well, you could approach it in a number of ways, but first of all, children are the number one protection, women and children. So number one, my woman wouldn't be out there running her mouth whatsoever. The hell are you doing running your mouth to a goddamn white supremacist when you know there's a possibility it's going to be a white supremacist male husband, brother, cousin, father, who probably in the state of Florida are going to come out and shoot you. They got concealed weapons permits. All right? Everybody's strapped in Florida. Everybody. Why would you assume that? You call my children all types of names, start threatening them. I'm going to get my children out that situation, make sure they're safe, number one. Number two, I'm going to always stay strapped. And to the sister in the chat saying, damn, do you have to have your weapons around your neighbors? You goddamn right. Like you just said, they're not our neighbors, they're our enemies. This is a racial holy war, Rahowa, all right? You have to protect your family by any and all means necessary. That means your woman, get your ass in the house, shut the fuck up. Children, get your black ass in the house. I'll deal with this. And then we're going to deal with that white supremacist woman. Fully prepared. I got to bring my partners over here. They coming. You know, if you want war, we're going to take you to war. This is where we at in 2023. How many more black people going to have to get shot before you black people get prepared, especially in Florida? It's too easy to get a concealed weapons permit. And as of July 1st, you ain't even going to need that. Get your tools. Get your power tools. Practice, train, practice, prepare, anticipate. Expect to get confronted. They're coming after you, black people. How many more examples do you need? How many more dead black people do you need to see in order for them to say, damn, they're attacking us? A.J. Owens is unfortunately dead. Rest in peace to that sister. But she approached it all wrong. She should have had her father, number one, her husband, boyfriend, brother, father, uncle, any other black man could handle that. She shouldn't have been up there bumping her gums, running her goddamn mouth. Unfortunately, you have a black man handle business, period, end of discussion. All right? We defend the family. We defend our babies. We defend our wives and our girlfriends, period. We are the warrior class. There is no conversation. You handle business, and whatever happens after that is what handles. All right? But them white supremacists are going to be very reluctant to attack you and attack black families when the black men start stepping up like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
She got
There's a
4
reason why
kids.
they weren't attacking us, because we was going to handle goddamn business and shut them down.
Think about that for a
like
Voltron. She got 4 kids and not 1 man. That's the thing I'm taking away, guys. She got 4 children, and not 1 man. And I've been saying this forever since the folks been getting beat up in the Asian salons and things. Don't you know that these people see this? These people can see you got 4 kids and no man. They see you ain't got no backup. They see ain't nobody coming for you. She been messing with them kids all this time to see if somebody else is going to show up. And what she realizes, I'll be damned, I can mess with these kids and the only one who's going to show up is they mammy. I don't know. I got something for her. But when there's a man in the equation, you got to understand, as a man, we're the wild card. They don't know what's going to go down. You see, here's the difference. It's our job to be kamikaze in them situations. That's our job. And everybody understands that if you dealing with somebody that you know has already assumed that they might not be coming back, they might have an idea you ain't going. When you're dealing with the warrior class, that's the way we see things. So everyone expects that from us. You don't expect us to be running our mouths neither. It's like if we show up at your front door, we ain't coming to talk. The talking is finished and done with. And that's assuming if you're lucky enough for us to be at your front door. If you're lucky enough. Because where I come from in Louisiana, we meet you somewhere else. I ain't really interested in going to your house. That's kind of inconvenient. Don't worry, I'm going to see you somewhere. I'm going to see you somewhere, either by incident or design. I'm going to see you somewhere.
There you go. You goddamn right. And let me give you an example of what I mean. You know, I'm a single father. I raised my daughter. One day when my daughter was like 1 year old, we were at the park. All right. This white dude came up with a big ass goddamn Rottweiler. Big old Rottweiler, probably about 150 pounds. All right. My daughter's terrified. She could barely walk, and she just climbed up my leg. I grabbed her. She was so terrified. She dug her little itty bitty 1 year old nails into my neck till my neck started bleeding. She was scared and terrified. I told that white dude, "Get your fucking dog away from me and my daughter. Otherwise, I'm going to shoot your fucking dog. Then I'm going to shoot you." At the time, I had my thing on me. All right? He was like, "Well, that's disrespectful." I said, "You got 5 seconds to get the fuck out of my face before it goes down." 5, 4, 3, 2. He ran the fuck out with his dog. Because I pulled my thing out and was ready to blow him and his fucking dog away. Would I got some time? Possibly. But I'm ready to defend my baby girl to the extreme. Yeah, I'm a fucking extremist. And that's the one thing they're afraid of. This crazy ass nigga right here is the wrong nigga to fuck with. Fuck around and find out if you want to. You know what's going to happen. Keep bringing it if you want to. You know what's going to happen. This is why, ladies, you need competent black men, competent black male leadership. You won't have to worry about stuff like AJ Owens and all the other probably, you know, other females is probably going to get attacked, possibly murdered in the future because they refuse to listen to competent black male leadership. It's your choice, ladies. Either you're going to submit under the leadership of a man or you're going to get taken out as soft targets. You decide. Be one to the fullest, Jason. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. They're at war with you. All I'm doing is acknowledging the obvious. It is what it is. They're at war. You got all these boys out here at the club raised by their single mamas going to jail in their skinny jeans because somebody stepped on their shoes, or at least he thinks somebody did. Meanwhile, the white supremacist next door is targeting the children. Ain't no men. Nobody going to jail for that. The women are sitting up here trying to handle that on their damn own and failing. Because you're not going up against the individual, you're going up against the system. Call of Miracle 662, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Uninvited guest, Verona, Mississippi.
Okay, what's your name again?
Uninvited guest, Verona, Mississippi.
All right, uninvited guest, what's on your mind?
Oh, I really feel like she sat around with her white supremacist buddies and discussed how she could lure that woman to her property.
Oh, they do that everywhere.
And so she could get away with that murder.
Oh, brother, they're doing that on Reddit. They've been doing this ever since Zimmerman. They've been doing this. They've been getting together everywhere, discussing with themselves, trying to play armchair lawyers. And in some cases, you have real lawyers. That's the real problem. In some of these cases online, on Facebook, on YouTube. We covered this years ago. Hell, they got CNN for it, but yeah, they sit up here on these Facebook groups, Reddit groups, Instagram. They got all these groups out here, Twitter, comparing notes with each other about how to commit the perfect crime, about how to commit the ambush killing and how to get away with it. They've been doing this now for over a decade. Over a decade.
Stay on
among themselves, they comparing notes. They paralegals, lawyers, judges, police officers in these groups. Comparing notes with them and telling them, okay, if you do it like this, you might get in trouble. If you do it like this, we can probably get you off. That's why they're doing that. Absolutely. And if you check her history, I'm sure you'll find something like that. To be at this age doing that, no, they went to go check notes on that. How can I do this and get away with it? Absolutely.
Right.
Keep your women and your children close on that. Thank you very much for giving me a call. Let me get caller from area code 919. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Insane Optimist, Jason Chapel Hill. Bravo, great show, and condolences to the Owens family. I just want to say you're spot on, as most of the callers have been. You know, another thing about this scenario is that with a man around, father preferably, the structure of the family would have been totally different, because that oldest boy, his responsibility is to make sure nobody is out of line, violating any of the rules that the father's laid down. We got a crazy ass white supremacist living next door. Don't go anywhere near her. If you do, oldest boy, you're going to have to deal with me when I get home. That's the way it always went down. You and I know it. Then this woman, this back and forth going to the house, and her going, I read one article where she went to the property owner to get permission for her kids to play over there. I certainly hope that wasn't a case of her going to another white supremacist trying to trump this white woman. I mean, this was an unnecessary battle. And again, men being around a cousin or an uncle, like Black Voltron said, would have handled this totally different. It would, the first moment that it was understood that this lady's crazy is like, hey, don't even go near it. Again, older son, you're in charge. If anybody violates the rules, you're going to have to deal with me when I get home from work. Again, it should have been, we'll deal with this when your father gets home from work. None of this business about going over there, knocking on the door, jaw-jacking. It's absurd. It's embracing these romanticized ideals that the Dems and feminists pump, independent woman, saving democracy. No one's saving democracy but women who are on the battlefield, women who followed behind the Union soldiers and tended to them, women out there stinking, unbathed, and going without really fighting. That's saving democracy. This other nonsense that feminism and these propaganda mills pump at our women, and they allow themselves to entertain these romantic notions, it's foolishness. And this has to end. We have to protect ourselves. And the men definitely have to be engaged and called out if they're not.
Well, definitely, if there had been a man in the equation, if a man had gone and talked to the property management about that and whatnot, that would have got cleared up real quick, because they don't want to see us standing there, because they know it's not going to be a bunch of trips to see that. It'll be one time we talk to you, and after that, you just gave us the green light. If you don't handle them, you've given us the green light to handle them ourselves. That's the way we going to do that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. It's not going to be no back and forth and jaw jagging. You got one chance. You can deal with that old heifer, or I'm going to deal with her. And that's it. You've been given your notice. You've been told there's an issue. You can deal with her, or I'm going to deal with her. But this is the first, last, and only time we're going to have any conversation about her. So you can get her in line, or I'm going to get her in line. If you get her in line, things will get quiet. If I get her in line, things going to get loud, and property values are going to go down. Caller from area code 909, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is Keith calling from San Bernardino in California.
Okay, Keith calling from his soup can in San Bernardino. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, just want to tell you, great broadcast, man. Everything you say I agree with, especially with Black Voltron. Everything he had to say is just, it's sad that we got to keep seeing this happening to our women, children, even some of our men in this community. In our community, we shouldn't be going through this, but until us as a people want to understand that we are at war and we are fighting every single day that we live in this country just to live and make it to the next day, the only time shit will change is when we decide to take a stand and change the shit for ourselves. Make these people think and understand that we're not going to be taking this shit no more. If we can't live comfortably in this country, no one will. You get what I'm saying?
Certainly, you do not give them the option of harming your children. Folk don't get that option.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 662. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Aaron calling from Tupelo, Mississippi.
All right, Aaron from Tupelo, what's on your mind?
My biggest problem, my biggest problem is how much of the pressure is coming from the community. Because if you look like, it looked like the judge is already, he got a bias going on. Because from what I was taught, she's going on like a stand your ground law. And with the stand your ground law, it only works, I think, when you're outside of your home. When you in your home, I was taught that if a person is outside of your house, you cannot, shoot that person or, say it was for a fear of your life, as long as you're in the house. Once they pass over the door threshold,
the fact that they've arrested her means that they don't.
That's when the council law.
No. The fact that they've arrested her means that that the sheriffs and the police are not accepting this as a stand your ground situation in Florida. That's extraordinary because they always give white folks the benefit of the doubt in that. But the fact that they've arrested her means they don't stand by that they are not defending her, and they don't see any grounds for that. The other thing is you can't say it's stand your ground, you shooting through a door. There's the other problem. Because remember, Suge Knight. Okay, well, slow down. Remember, Suge Knight got sent back to prison for shooting through a wall. Remember? That incident at the studio where he was upset because folks were using the phone that Harry O was supposed to be calling on, and Suge Knight is up here shooting through the wall. Now, fortunately, he didn't hit anybody when he did that, but that was enough to get him sent back to prison again. So in a situation like this, where you got somebody shooting through a door, she is endangering other people and everything else. She's endangering everybody just on the face of it. You can't be shooting through a door. You can't claim self-defense shooting through a door at someone who's unarmed. Now, if she had proof of something that they were reason to believe they were armed, well, that might be different. But these circumstances, there's literally no defense that she can come up with, which is going to be able to help her. Now, she might say something crazy or stupid, but there really isn't a defense under these circumstances. No. It's not stand your ground. It isn't even self-defense. It's at best, it's reckless endangerment because she's shooting through a door, which means you have no earthly idea what you're shooting at. You can't even prove to us that other person is on the side of the door at the time you're shooting. You can't prove that the person you're shooting at that you think is on the other side of the door is what you're trying to hit anyway. With that door being closed, you just really lost all defense. But somewhere she talked to somebody, probably some armchair white supremacist wannabe legal eagle on the internet, who told her that would work. Now she's going to try it in the real world, and so far it doesn't look like it's going so well. I'll let you have the last word.
Yes, that's what I was saying. I mean, because I think even they only arrested her once she had they put some pressure on them to arrest her. I mean, they didn't arrest her, they only arrested her a couple of days or a week later or some time later after they arrested her, only after pressure of, the community and stuff like that. That's the reason why I was wondering, was it going, I feel like it's going to be biased from, for us, like the judges and the police officers. And it's not a stand your ground case, you know what I'm saying? It's really, it should be a federal case. I think it should be a federal case because she already admitted to her racism.
Well, the judge lowering the bond is letting you know already what side he is on this. So basically you got Kyle Rittenhouse again. You got another judge who's trying to figure out how to finesse her through the system and let her off. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, caller from area code 347 has been abducted. Caller from area code 571, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is John from D.C.
All right, John from D.C., and what is on your mind?
Let me ask you something. You sitting there, you talking all this, that, and the third. If this situation wasn't covered by the mainstream media and say somebody from that woman's family would have reached out to you, what exactly would you have done?
I would have told them to call you. Somebody tell official MGTOW that, he's real hump hurt. His hemorrhoids are bothering him real bad. But tell official MGTOW that if you ever actually had developed into a man, then you wouldn't have this issue in your life. So don't worry about them calling the real men. Just understand nobody's ever going to call you with your whiny ass Pee Wee Herman voice. If they call you, what they going to do with you? Negro, escape puberty first, okay? Before you call up grown men, escape puberty. You should be worried about that. Stop worrying about grown men and worry about escaping puberty. Caller from area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Daryl from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Jason, excellent broadcast. You made an excellent point. You've been saying these things for a while. Being from the south side of Chicago, first off, over there, it ain't gonna happen. And that's one of the things that's it. And we ain't gonna allow that. That's one. That's number one. Number two, I even had to assist somebody one time in the parking lot. We were over at I think it was a KFC. I was coming out of the KFC. Guy was mouthing off at the lady. And I said, "Excuse me, miss, you okay?" She said, "No problem." This guy was mouthing off. It was a white supremacist. You could tell who they looked like, what they looked like. He was laying for her or something, like laying to say something. See, she had 4 kids in the car. And another guy gets out of the car. Another black guy gets out. We asked the lady, she all right? Next thing I know, he backed off and left her alone. But like you said, when we step up with numbers, they leave us alone. But when you by yourself, you're a target.
That's the way. They're always looking for a soft target. They're looking for women and children. These are not heroes. Ever since George Floyd, if they want to run up on us anywhere in America, they could get it, but it ain't happening. So the reason it's not happening is they're telling you that whole great big idea of if the race war ever jumped off, y'all wouldn't be ready. I've always told black folks, like, no, they don't really want it. They talk big. They don't never really want it. Now they can get it anywhere they want to and ain't trying to get it. It was never going to be like that. But what it will be is them targeting. They're going to do targeted ambushes of your women and your children.
Yes.
And we have to be ready for that. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 202. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm calling from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay, Lisa from Silver Springs. What's on your mind?
I just have to say one of the earliest memories I had of my father and his father is when we traveled from Ohio to Georgia. So my mother would get heated, but even as a child, I understood what was going on. My grandfather, I'm a little nervous. He had several sons. We always traveled 4 to 5 cars deep. My grandfather and his sons always had rifles in the car. And he always traveled with his hound dogs. So when we would stop for gas between Ohio and Georgia, you knew it was hound dogs in the car, and they would be like, "We going hunting in Georgia." And so we had gotten to around Tennessee-Georgia line, and we had to get gas. And it was a white man. He was by himself in a gas station. And I was terrified because he had this big, long silver gun. And so my father got out. I was like, "Dad, don't do it." My dad got out, and he looked at that white guy, and the white guy looked at him. My dad was like, "I'm here to get gas." And sorry for being nervous, but right then and there, I knew that I wanted to be married and protected. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, coming through Jim Crow and coming out of segregation and civil rights, folks, back then you couldn't play with yourself. Back then you had to accept the reality that you were the only protection that you had, and you couldn't sit up here and fantasize that you had some kinship with these people. They're not civilized. They're not citizens. They're terrorists. Caller from area code 352. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Ray calling from Ocala, Florida.
All right, Ray from Ocala. What's on your mind, brother? You know anything about that neighborhood that they're in out there?
Yeah, I've been trying to find out where it was because me and my wife was going to go out there the second day. I think it's northern Florida. It's Rolling Hills, I think. Rolling Hills. Me and my wife was going to go out there the second day, but we didn't get a chance because the brothers and the sisters came together, and they did a great job. Also, with that child that got shot in the back, the 14-year-old kid, I really believe that they're trying to strike a race war, which we're already at war, which you know. But they also, our people have to watch out for the illegals because all those people coming in are military, and they moved in next door to me. It's like different cars there, like every night. It's never the same people, and I think they're using the house as some kind of station for them.
Oh, well, no about thinking about it here. They're there for a purpose and a reason. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, D-Code Chief and a place to be from the south side of Chicago.
All right, Coach Chiefs, what's on your mind?
I'm sorry about that. I just want to say one thing. If she gets away with that, then a person should be able to pop a mailman when you bring a bill that they don't appreciate. And I'll land my plane.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. We'll definitely know we're not shooting mailmen, but she's not going to get away with it, but definitely making an example out of her is the real issue. Her getting a slap on the wrist is the real problem. This was not manslaughter. This was premeditated murder. She'd been doing this for a while. This was premeditated. Call from area code 562. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing? This is Elton from Long Beach.
Hi, Elton from Long Beach. What's on your mind?
This broadcast you have is outstanding, and I think it ties in directly with the last few broadcasts you did with the was it the boss female broadcast? Because
wrong
the thing
channel.
about it is
wrong channel for that, sir. But wrong channel.
Well, the point I was going to make is she had 4 children, and there was no man there. And the thing about it is 18% of the men are making a bunch of the babies in our community. And this is a real result of this because she didn't even think to have to call someone or have someone to know she could call to take care of this situation.
Well, she doesn't have anybody she can call. That's the real thing about it. This wasn't a one-time incident. This has been an ongoing campaign of harassment. White supremacists are not stupid. They test the waters. So this old white heifer has been trying this over and over again. She's been doing it over and over to see what the response was going to be and to see if somebody was going to show up on her behalf and to see if she had somebody she could call. And what she found out is, she's by herself. So once she sees that's it. It's open season.
And the thing is, if she had actually I see this tragedy have occurred years ago when she structured her life this way by making babies with people who wouldn't protect her and her babies. On that, I'll land my plane.
This idea that the state is going to protect you, the state is white supremacist. The state is not going to protect you, support you, hold you up. You're not going to go to war against black men. You're going to go to war against yourself. The state is not your friend. The state is not your buddy. This woman killed you in cold blood, and the state was like, meh, next case. Caller from area code 520. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Tanisa. I'm calling from Arizona.
Hello, Denise. What's on your mind?
Okay, I was listening to what you were saying about single mothers, and I was thinking, along with the war zone that you say that we're in, part of that war zone is also giving false information to the Black community to bear burdens that don't belong to us. For instance, when people were teaching feminism, we were teaching womanism. That's what Black women agreed to, and we're teaching each other. And it's also written and documented in the history books. We were not practicing feminism. We were practicing womanism.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. The white women have been practicing feminism, which is a group thing. Black women have adopted some bastardized corruption that is womanism, which is why you get all these women talking about their womanly ways and stuff. So I would actually, there's actually a point to that, actually. You actually do have a good point to that, because feminism is a slow down.
African
feminism
values,
is a socio-political
but it's about the
movement.
whole family.
Okay, well, feminism is a socio-political movement. Womanism is a spiritual, personal belief. And when you got somebody who's advancing a social political agenda, and then their little buddy over here is voting for their socio-political agenda on the basis of some personal spiritual belief, yeah, you're using similar words, but you're not saying the same thing. So one is being manipulated, maneuvered in a trick bag. So there actually is something to that, what she's saying. There actually is something to that. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Jason. My name's Patrick. I'm calling from Long Island.
All right, Patrick from Long Island. What's on your mind?
Okay, just a couple of things. One of the things is that I was surprised that you didn't really elaborate more on the fact that when the police originally arrested this white woman, they arrested her that day, so-called. They so-called arrested her, but they let her go right away. Like, immediately they let her go. And to me, that's very, very significant that they did that. That lets me know that the cops really had no problem at all with what she had done. I mean, they let her go immediately. Immediately they let her go. And then the other thing that I have to consider is the fact that you have an animal like Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida too. So you know he's going to get involved in this case. Like, even if let's say she's convicted of something, he's going to wind up giving her a pass.
No, Ron,
giving her a governor,
DeSantis,
government pardon.
DeSantis is not going to get involved in this case here. And also, as far as her and the police, I did cover that, the fact that when this originally happened, the police didn't do anything about it. So everybody knows, or at least everybody should know, that originally the police didn't do anything about it. So I did mention, we already discussed that here before. So it did take community action to get them to take action on that in the first place. Now, and we also mentioned about the judge in this case as well, that the prosecution asked for a $200,000 bond. The judge knocked it down to $150,000. So definitely every step along the way, they have the system, because you're in a system of white supremacy. This is what we talk about, folks, $1 million worth of whiteness. This is the system stepping in and giving her little perks that you don't have to pay for. The police getting up and leaving, or not originally wanting to charge you, that's a perk that money can't buy. The judge knocking your bail down from $200,000 to $150,000, that's a perk that money can't buy. So with that being the case there, definitely they are doing those little things.
But what makes you think that DeSantis won't get involved in this case? What makes you believe that?
Because you need to have something that's cleaner than this. This isn't clean enough. She's been running around throwing racial slurs and calling little kids nigger and stuff. DeSantis can't defend that. That's the part that's going to trip him up. If anybody who would try to defend her, you also have to defend that she has a long track record. She admitted that she's throwing racial slurs and things like that at little children. Politically, you can't defend that.
Racial slurs himself.
Okay, well,
DeSantis does that. He uses racial slurs himself. He's been sending all kind of dog whistles.
Okay, well, sir.
He wants to ban anything.
Okay,
that
sir,
has
you're going off the rails now. You got to take your Ritalin. You're going off the rails. When you say racial slurs, we talking about calling folks nigger. When has Ron DeSantis did that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's done it plenty of times.
All right. Take the evening off. All right, folks. It's just people, look. You can't wish that folks do things. I'm sure they would. Okay, either they did or they don't. You can't wish white supremacists into jail. You got to deal with the evidence in front of you. You can't just, well, he would. Trust me, he would. What racial slurs does he use? I'm sure he would. All right. I get your feeling there, brother, but you need more than, trust me, he would do it. Okay, well, lock him up now. It doesn't work that way. Caller area code 562, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody.
Okay, caller from area code 562 is apparently being fondled by her boyfriend, and they can't wait till they get back to the hotel. So let me go ahead and let y'all go for the evening here. Folks, there are so many lessons to be learned from this situation in this case, which is why I wanted to cover it here tonight. There was so much I wanted to do here, and I wanted to put this in proper context. You are at war. George Zimmerman set a template, and now a bunch of other people are trying to replicate it. There are Facebook groups, there are Reddit threads, all kinds of people out here trying to do their best to replicate what they've seen. And you better be on guard about it, because it's irrelevant whether or not they can get the legal standing to get it to work. That's irrelevant. The whole point is whether or not they're going to try it. That's the part that matters. That's the part that matters. Whether they can actually get it to work or not is irrelevant. They going to try it. We need to be prepared for their attempts. Remember, and just because someone attempts to take your life, makes an attempt on your life, that doesn't mean it's going to be unsuccessful. They might make an attempt that is successful. We have to be on guard, on alert, ever vigilant all the time. And to the women out there, the bastard baby era is over. The single mama slut era is over. You need to be under a man's management and protection. Otherwise, you just a sitting duck. And in this society, female sitting ducks are dead dogs. That's reality. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support here, Mr. Baker, Mr. Jules, Mr. Assad, Sanders, Weibin, everyone else here who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking, best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD and streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program here, live or recorded. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.